Welcome back, guys. This is Krishna again, and welcome to my YouTube channel, AI Martian. So, we were talking about a deep learning playlist, right? So, today I will talk about what is indexing on Tensor, and the second part is what is broadcasting, okay? So, I will cover these two concepts in this video, and these two are very much important. Means all concepts are important, okay? If it is related to TensorFlow and you are going for a deep learning, machine learning, that is important, okay? So you have to know each and every basic segment of TensorFlow. So only you can work on a deep learning kind of model, okay, efficiently. So let's start using the same Google Colab sheet. I'm going there. So as I mentioned here, indexing and broadcasting on TensorFlow. So these are two concepts basically. I will cover one by one. Okay. So first of all, I just want to cover indexing. So let's make a separate heading for this. So what is indexing? So indexing is similar kind of operation which we perform on Python list data type. List, you can say tuple, okay? So tuple is also one of them on which you can work, okay? You can do indexing. So let me make the heading of this. And I want to show you a demonstration on this. So what is indexing? So let me take my marker and I will show you like how indexing we can perform. So suppose this is a list of Python 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So I just want to pull this value out of this list. Okay. So how can I do this? I have to simply mention a kind of indexing operation. So what is indexing? Filling the value at this place, I have to show you like if I need this 3 value here, how can I do this? What I have to mention here, okay? So first of all, we should know about the Python very well, and in Python we have a data type called a list. This is list data type, and list data type support indexing, okay? So let me choose another marker color. So list support indexing, and indexing means each element inside this list data type, which is assigned to a variable A, having certain unique identities, or you can say index numbers, like rank, you can say. Okay, so this one has index value 0, this 2 has index value 1, this 3 has index value 2, this 4 has index value 3, this 5 has index value 4. So this is called positive indexing. If you didn't know about it, please go to my Python playlist where I talked about each and every data type in very detail. Okay, so that would be really helpful to you guys. Okay, so now uh this is called indexing. Okay, similarly we have negative indexing. In Python also work on negative indexing, like -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay, so such kind of indexing Python supports. So if I want to pull this value 3, okay, what I have to do, I can either mention 2 or -3 to get this value. Where? Inside this bracket here. Okay, so I have to simply mention a square bracket 2. Okay. If I'll hit shift enter, I'll get the value which is equal to 3. So this is the answer, okay, of this particular operation. Okay, if you want to get the same value using negative indexing, you have to simply put here like a square bracket and you have to mention there -3. If you will use -3, so this -3 is the index value of this 3, and this 2 is also index value, positive index of this 3. Okay, so if you will hit like a square bracket -3, you will get 3 as an output. So these two operation have same output. Okay, why I'm talking about indexing in on list data type? Because I want to point a concept in TensorFlow. Like TensorFlow also support indexing, and its indexing is also similar to list. Okay, so I have to first of all import TensorFlow library. I have to import TensorFlow as TF. Okay, so once I will import this, I can create a tensor using variable class. So I have to simply mention a kind of tensor here. Let's say this is my tensor, okay, where I have like 5 elements, okay. So I'm going to assign it to a variable called A, and I will print this value, and I will get a tensor there. So this tensor shape is like it is one dimension and it has 5 elements. This is 5, so it has 5 elements. If you'll go through, I talked about it multiple times in my previous video as well, so you must have to go through. Okay, and this is that tensor we are getting, okay, inside this TensorFlow variable A. Okay, and its data type is 32 int 32. So now I want to fetch this, let's say 3 value, okay, 3 value out of this tensor. How can I do this? I have to simply mention like this. See, I'm getting a value 3 here. Okay. So if you have gone through Python playlist or Python data type also support the same kind of concept. So in TensorFlow, this is also acceptable. You can pull any value out of a tensor using such kind of operation, which I just performed here. Okay. Now you guys will ask me, is there any possibilities to get like a in 2D array or in 3D array any specific value? I will say yes. How can we do this? So first of all, I will show you the demonstration of this. So let me go there. Let me pick my marker. And let's say I'm talking about a tensor, okay, which looks something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. This is a 2-dimension tensor. Okay. This is a 2-dimension tensor. So what I want to pull these two value of each tensor. How can I do this? I have to simply go through the same kind of indexing procedure. Okay. So suppose you want to pull these two value, initial vector two values 1 and 2, and second vector two values like 4 and 5. So how can you do that? So you have to simply create a variable or a tensor first, tf dot variable. You have to mention there this two vector as mentioned, as I demonstrated before, 5 and 6. Okay. Now I want to print this value. I want to check whether I'm getting such kind of tensor or not. So yes, of course I'm getting that. See, it's a 2D tensor. Here you can also see like in this tuple there are two elements. That means it is a 2D array. Okay, or 2D tensor. Its data type is in 32 again, and this is the tensor we are getting over here. Okay. So now I want to pull 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, in the same shape, but I need the two values from each vector inside this tensor. Okay. So how can I do this? I have to simply mention some sort of like this 1 and like this. You have to mention like what it is. So we have to go through it once. Okay. So in tensor, if you want to fetch the value, okay, like this means this operation only tensor support, not your list library will support. Okay. So don't perform this operation in list, otherwise you will get some sort of error. Okay. I can show you like what I'm talking about. So let me create a list also just to show you. This is a simple list. Let's say I'm storing this list into a variable called C, and I'm mentioning the same values 4, 5, 6. Okay. And if I will print this, I will get the same output, but not like this. It is a simple list. Okay. Now I want to also try to pull the value like this. Okay. Whether I'm getting the value like this or not. So what I have to do, you guys were thinking like, if I will mention something like this, I will get the value. I will say, no, it is not possible. You will get an error. See, you guys are getting error. Okay. This is the feature of tensor only. Like in tensor only, you can perform such kind of slicing operation. Okay. So this is some sort of like a row and column operation is happening here. Okay. So what it is, I will tell you why I mentioned two there. So see, if you will go through this vector, this is on 0 index, this is on 1 index, and this is on 2 index. Okay. Let me choose another color. On this tensor, you are getting 1 on 0 index, 2 on 1 index, and 3 on 2 index. Okay. Similarly, on this tensor, 4 you are getting on 0 index, 5 on 1 index, and 6 on 2 index. So if you want to get the value up to this place in each vector inside this tensor, what you can do? You have to simply, means in TensorFlow suggested like this, like you can mention 2 for this one. Okay. Okay. So this is working something like that. Okay. So we have to simply mention, means this is not acceptable. If you'll mention 2, this index values definitely excluded, not included. Okay. So this is working like this. Okay. You guys have to do a lot of practice on this. We generally do this to play with images. Okay. Most of the time. So I will show you when I will proceed in this lecture further. Okay. But list is not going to support such kind of operation. So don't try to make such kind of operation in list. Okay. Otherwise, you will definitely get some sort of error like list indices must be integer or slice, not tuple. Okay. So this is some sort of error. You have to understand this. Okay. So means a person who go for AI, ML or deep learning have good, actually excellent hands-on on Python, because they most of the time perform this operation using Python. Yeah, definitely. There are other languages also like Java and .NET and C++. C++ is most important after Python, because that's used for embedding. Like if you have to deploy some sort of algorithm or a model on let's say robots, okay, on drone, then in that case you should know about a C++ kind of language, okay, for that. All right, let's move ahead. Now I want to talk about broadcasting. What is broadcasting? So broadcasting also there in NumPy, okay, because that's also support tensor, okay, but because we are working on TensorFlow, so I will teach you separately this concept. So what is broadcasting? So let me show you one operation first of all. So I'm creating a tensor for you. Okay, so I'm creating a variable here, and I'm creating a tensor like this. I'm not going to take complicated kind of a sequence or number. So just to make it simple, I'm going to mention 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So there are 5 elements inside this tensor. If I will print this p, I will get the same values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh, sorry. It is d. One, I will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of elements inside this tensor. Okay. So now, if I want to broadcast, like what kind of broadcasting? So I want to add. Let me make a comment. I want to add, let's say 10 to each value, or you can say elements inside the tensor, D. D is a tensor, okay? And inside D, we have 5 elements, which is looking like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I want? I want to simply add 10 to each values. Like I want to add 10 to 1, I want to add 10 to 2, I want to add 10 to 3, I want to add 10 to 4, I want to add 10 to 5. So definitely I will get some sort of output. So the output will look like something like this. Let me show you. If I will add 1 to 10, if I will add, let me draw it. This is assigned to a variable d. If I will add 10 to this tensor, okay, this is a tensor, not a list, okay. I'm talking about tensor, okay. So this is tensor. So if I will add 10, I will get each value something like this. Why? Because this 10 is going to enhance the value of each element because it supports broadcasting. Okay. So broadcasting talks about it. Like if you will do any kind of operation, arithmetic operation on a tensor using a single number or a single element, you will get some sort of output. So let's see whether we are getting such kind of output or not. So let me perform the operation on the same. So I want to remove this. Okay. So this is my tensor D. Okay. And I want to add 10 to it. Okay. If I will print this, I will get 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 in a new tensor. Okay. This is a new tensor. Okay. This is the tensor on which we did a broadcasting operation, which is called addition, arithmetic operation. Addition. Okay. I add 10 to each values or element inside the tensor, right? So similarly, if you want to subtract 10 to each elements of a tensor, okay, and that tensor, let's say D tensor I'm talking about, because I just created D. So print D just to show you how's D look like. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our D I just created here. Okay, so this is our tensor D. Okay, I'm doing operation on the same, that's why I printed this value, and I'm getting the same tensor. So I want to subtract, let's say 10 to each and every element inside this tensor. So what can I do? I simply have to mention D minus 10 and I will print this. So what will I get? So of course I will get the same values like addition. So if I will subtract, let's say, let me erase this. Okay, let me erase this also. Okay, so if I want to subtract 10 to this tensor, okay, I will get minus 9, minus 8, minus 7, minus 6, minus 5. Okay, so this should be the output. Okay, this is also called broadcasting. Broadcasting means you are doing one operation, okay, and that operation basically affect each and every element of the tensor. Okay, so let me print this. And see, I'm getting minus 9, minus 8, minus 7, minus 6, minus 5. Similarly, you can do a multiplication. Okay, multiplication. So multiplication also supported by this tensor on broadcasting concept. Okay, this is broadcasting I'm talking about. Yesterday I talked about matrix multiplication. Okay, that was dot product. Okay, you oftenly heard in your school days like dot product. Okay, so yesterday I performed dot product. Okay, but today I'm talking about multiplication broadcasting. Okay, so what does that mean? So again I want to multiply, let's say 10 to tensor D. Okay, so if I will multiply tensor D to 10, I will get output which looks something like this. So it will be 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Okay, so this will be our new tensor. So let's run this, shift enter. See, I'm getting 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So this is called broadcasting on multiplication. Similarly, you can perform division. Okay, so division also support broadcasting. Okay, one second. So let's perform the same operation on D tensor, okay, which I had created. So I am simply trying to divide this D by 10, okay. So what will I get? So I will get some sort of answer. Let's see, 0.1, then 0.2, then 0.3, 0.4, and 0.5. Okay, so some sort of tensor you will get. So let's run. See, we are getting 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, and 0, 5. So this is about tensor. There are a few more operations like floor division. This is called floor division in Python. Floor division in Python. Okay, we call this symbol floor division. Okay, so can tensor support floor division? Yes, of course it can. So how we can evaluate this? So let's say I have a tensor D again, and I want to calculate floor division. Floor division means what? Let me tell you. So suppose you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the tensor. Okay, and if you will divide this all value by 10, okay, you will get 0 0.1, 0 0.2, 0 0.3, 0 0.4, and 0 0.5. You know what? Interesting fact. You will not get this out. You will get 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Now you will ask me, why, Krishna? Why will we will get this? We are simply doing a floor division, right? A division kind of stuff. So I will say division, floor division basically discard this point and their values after that. Like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 has been discarded by floor division, this symbol, okay? So if you will divide this value by 10, sorry. So if you will divide this value by 10, you are simply trying to calculate floor division by broadcasting on tensor, okay? So you will get some sort of answer, and in there we are getting point values. So it simply remove the point values, okay, and give us the whole integer, okay? Whole integer or whole number, okay? So that's the whole number we are getting here. So now can you demonstrate it by some other example? Of course I can, but let me perform this, okay? So if I will run this, see, I'm getting the same output what I have shown you right away, okay? So now let me show you one more operations with a different example so you guys will able to understand this. So I'm creating one more tensor, creating one more tensor, okay? Because I want to show you floor division, right? So whether my talks are right or wrong, I have to prove it, right? So I'm going to prove it again. So let's say I have a tensor called E, and tf dot variable I'm using here, and I have to pass, let's say, something like this: 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. I'm taking simple values just for you guys, okay? Like you guys will able to understand it easily. That's why I'm taking such kind of example, okay? So if you will guys simply try to find the floor division of this, so what you will get this time. So let me show you first of all the output, and then I will press shift enter to run this shell. So if you guys will divide 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 by 10, means you guys are simply trying to calculate floor division, or I'm simply trying to calculate floor division. So I will get 0.5. I'm not giving you the actual output, okay? I'm just giving you the steps, okay, like how it will calculate. So 0.5 first it will get, then 1.0, then 1.5, then 2.0, and 2.5. Because if you will divide this all value by 10, it will you will get some sort of values, okay? So the final output we will get, final output we will get, that is, it will simply discard point and their values, okay? So it will simply discard these values, okay? So what we have remaining? So 0, 1, 1, 2, 2. So I will get this value, okay, if I'll do floor division on TensorFlow, okay? So let's run using shift and enter to this shell. See, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2. 0, 1, 1, 2, 2. So this is a floor division. If you guys want to calculate exponential values, let's say I want to calculate power. So in Python, we generally calculate power of any value using 2 asterisk, okay? So that's why I mentioned here 2 asterisk, okay? So how can we do this? Again, we have, let's say, a tensor called E, okay? This is our tensor, and I want to do broadcasting on this. This is our tensor 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, okay? I want to calculate their square, okay? Each value is a square, like 5 square is 25, 10 square is 100, 15 square is 15 into 15 to 25, 20 square is 20 into 20 to 400, 25 into 25 means I'm going to calculate 25 square then. So 25 into 25 will become 625, okay? So if I will do if I'll calculate a square of this tensor E, I will get some sort of output. Let's see. 5 square is 25, okay? 10 square is 100. 15 square is like 15 into 15, 225. Similarly, 20 square is 400. 25 square is 625, okay? So if you will hit shift enter, you will get the same, okay? Maths is really interesting, guys, I'm telling you. Okay, let's run this and see 2500 to 25 400 and 625. That means tensor also support power exponents value, okay? So if you will mention here 3, like it will be, the first value will become 125, then second value will become 1000. Similarly, you will get a larger numbers, okay, because that power will become 3 that time, okay. So let me show you that also. E asterisk asterisk E asterisk asterisk 3, if I will do, I'll get 125, then 1000. See, I'm getting that. So that's all for this video, guys. Hope you guys like this video. If you really like this channel, please subscribe, comment, okay. You can also comment me like what kind of playlist you would like to see, okay, in future. I will definitely create a video on that. And please share with your friend families. Thank you to visit AI Martian, and have a nice day. Thank you.